Hello, hi friends. Okay, we have a slight malfunction under my desk. I was prepared for this yesterday because I knew we weren't going to be home today. We haven't been home most of the day. But last night my kids were playing hide and seek in my craft room, well, all over the house. My craft room took the brunt of it, I think, though. So everything is moved around. There's stuff like shoved under my desk, and there's stuff not in the right place. So yeah, thanks kids. So we gotta learn to pick up after we're done with our game, right? All right, well, thank you for joining me today. Welcome to Facebook Live. I am so happy you're here today. I have an amazing card to show you. I'm going to show you the card first, and then we'll go into some specials. But it's all gold embossed. The only ink we're using is Versamark, and we're going to gold emboss everything. But it is so stunning, and I don't think that the camera picks up as amazing as it really is in person. The gold on the crumb cake cardstock is just super stunning. I love that look. It's like a fun monochromatic look. I really love it. And I even like did the edges of the cardstock here, so it's like extra golden. It's such a beautiful, beautiful look. So we're gonna do this card. But before we get to the card, you guys know I like to share all our specials with you because you guys need to take advantage of them. They're such amazing deals. So bonus days, we are about halfway through July. Are we about halfway? We are about halfway. It is. Tomorrow is the 15th, or no, yesterday was the 15th. We are halfway through July. So bonus days are here. That you can only earn them in July, so, and then you redeem them in August. So if you haven't redeemed, or if you haven't earned your bonus days coupons, make sure you do so. You only have half a month left. For every $50 you spend by July 31st, you're going to get a $5 coupon to use in August, and you can use that on anything you want in August, but you have to earn them in July, and you can earn as many as you want. So there is no limit to how many coupons you can earn. Now, I will be spending my coupons, and I've earned quite a few. We won't go into how many I've earned because it's embarrassing. But I've earned quite a few, and I will be using mine on the holiday catalog pre-order that demonstrators get to take advantage of in August. If you want to see that holiday catalog early, and if you want to be part of that pre-order and get those products early, this is a fantastic time to join Stampin' Up! You can join my team. I have an amazing team. We actually have a meeting next week, which I'm super excited about. And this is a great time to join. For $99, you get to choose $155 in products, which is just a phenomenal deal. Plus, you get free shipping. So it's really $99 plus tax, which is just a steal of a deal, I think. And then the following month that you sign up, so if you sign up this month in August, you're going to get a $10 coupon to use on anything, and you can use that on that pre-order. So it's just a fantastic deal. My team has so much fun. Like I said, we have a meeting we have a meeting next week, and then we actually have a virtual meeting in August, and then we're doing a really fun event in September. So it's such a good time to join my team. We have so much fun. There's no commitment. If you sign up to be a demonstrator, I know a lot of people are like, well, I really don't want to sell. I don't want to demonstrate. I don't want to do any of that. You don't have to. You can just enjoy your discount and be a really happy customer. Because you're going to get all at a discount. That's really all it means. So don't miss out on that deal. It's an amazing deal. So like I said, here's our incredible card. So we're gonna go ahead and make this card. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Now I went with crumb cake and soft suede, so it's really like, I love the brown tones, but you can do this with any color of cardstock, any colors. Just that gold embossing is beautiful. I like to pair gold with warmer colors like your reds and your oranges and your purples. Well, purple might be more of a cooler color, and then your the cooler colors I like to pair with silver. So you could also do this with silver, which would be stunning, or even copper. Copper would also be stunning. So I'm going to show you how to do it in gold with the crumb cake, but you could do this with any embossing. Okay, so I have a stitched shape circle. That is the hardest thing to say, you guys. Stitched shape circle, and I believe this is the second smallest. I think so. And then I have a scallop circle, and this is from the layering circles, and then this is from the stitch shapes. The stitch shape die. So we're gonna put those aside for now. We don't need those now. Our card base is soft suede. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. That is our card base. So we'll set that aside. We don't need that. And then I have 2 layers of crumb cake. The smaller layer is 5 by 3 1/4, and this is the one we're going to stamp on. And then our larger layer is 4 by 5 1/4. And this one we'll just assemble to the card later. So let's begin with our stamping. So we're going to start with our flowers, and I'm using 2 different stamp sets today. We are using, for our flowers, I'm using this flower from the Floral Essence stamp set. This is a beautiful, beautiful stamp set, and there's a coordinating punch that goes with this that you can get in a bundle. Beautiful. I love things that come in a bundle. You save some money. And then the greeting that we're using is from Here's to Strong Women, and this stamp set I really love, and I have some amazing ideas for this stamp set, and I think this one might be my class to go for August. So if you love this stamp set, watch for that class to go on August 1st to post on my blog. I have some really, really fun ideas with this stamp set. So that one will post, it should post August 1st, assuming I get my act together. The kids go back to school very soon, you guys. So summer is, I think, is on its downhill slope. So we can do it, right? We can hang in there. Okay, I'm going to start with my embossing on my crumb cake piece. So again, this was 5 by 3 3/4, and because we're doing a lot of embossing, I'm going to cover it with our embossing buddy. This is going to cut down on that static so we don't get the gold embossing powder where we don't want it. Now I'm going to get my embossing powder all ready. I keep mine in little containers, and they're all labeled. I don't know if you can see my label. So I have 8 different containers for all of our different embossing powders that I got from the Container Store. And then I have these little scoops that were also from the Container Store in the kitchen section. And so I'm going to get that all ready so we don't have to fumble around with that when it's time to do our embossing. Okay, so we have our Versamark pad and our stamp. And I'm going to start here in the bottom left corner with my flowers. So I'm going to do one kind of off center here. This is going to be kind of, this is that main one right here. So we want to make sure we get this one really well. And so I can see that. I don't know, I think you can kind of pick it up. The watermark, or the Versamark, leaves a watermark on your paper, so you can kind of see where you're stamping. And it makes it really, really easy for embossing. So, and I'm just turning my stamp a little bit each time just so the flowers are not all facing in the same direction. So there are our bottom 3. And then I'm going to stamp one up here off the paper, off the cardstock in the corner right there. Okay, now we are going to bring in our embossing powder. I'm going to close this because if the embossing powder makes a mess, I do not want it in my pad. I've done that before. And Versamark stays wet for a while, so you could go through and do each flower all at once if you wanted to, but because it stays wet for quite a while, I'm not too worried about the Versamark drying. So, and I'm in a very dry climate, and it leaves it stays sticky plenty of time for me. So if you're in maybe even a more humid climate, you're just fine, I'm sure. Okay, so we have that all covered with our embossing powder, and right now it doesn't look too pretty. It doesn't have that gold sheen. We're gonna do that in a minute. Okay, but before we get to that, we are going to stamp our greeting, and I'm gonna use my embossing buddy again, just on my circle here. And you could stamp first and then die cut it. That's fine. I just wanted to speed up time a little bit, so we're going to do it this way, and hopefully I'll be able to line it up just at least well enough, right? Heat embossing is one of the very first techniques I learned years and years and years ago when I signed up. And it is still one of my favorite all-time techniques because it packs such a punch and it's so easy. Could have gone a little lower, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it. So there's our greeting. So now that everything is all covered, we're gonna cover our, where's my lid? We're gonna put our lid back on our embossing powder. You wanna make sure everything's covered before you bring in your heat tool. So I am actually going to get some tweezers to hold this because I don't wanna burn my fingers. So I'm gonna hold this with some tweezers. Now, when you emboss, I'm going to turn my heat tool on, and I'm actually holding it off far away from me to let it heat up. I really like to let my heat tool heat up nice and hot before you bring it to the paper. It really, really stops the warping. The longer that your heat is on the paper, the more warping it's going to get. So it just takes maybe like 30 seconds to really heat up, and then it's already changing. So pretty. So there is our greeting. So I'm just going to set that down, and then I'm going to pick up my other piece. And this should go very quickly. You can already see it going. Because that heat tool is nice and hot, it just goes very quickly. And once you see it melt and turn to that glossy gold, you just want to move on to another spot. You don't want to overheat it. Okay, and I know this is probably really loud right near the phone, but you want to make sure you can see. So pretty. I love embossing. It's so magical. So magical, that little spot right there. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to just kind of hold it tilted in the light, make sure that I got it all before we move on. And everything looks good. This looks good. So I'm going to put my tweezers back. So all that's left now is really to assemble. I do want to add some little splatters to this one real quick. So I'm going to move everything out of the way, and I'm going to use my dark crumb cake blend for the splatters. Now, if you order from my online store this month, you can choose a combo of blends for free if your order is over $50 or more. So you'll get that bonus days coupon for your order of $50, and then I'm going to email you when I see that order and say, hey, what color blend can I send you? Blend combo. So that is the light and dark of any of the blends that we sell. So make sure you get those orders in. You can shop my online store. Use this host code. If you don't use the host code, I won't know that you want the blends. And you can shop in my online store and get that free blends and that bonus days coupon. So all I am doing is holding that brush tip in the lid, and then I'm just flicking that out, just like that. And this doesn't damage your tip. I do this all the time. None of my tips are damaged. And you can also do it with just your regular Stampin' Write markers too. But the blends are so handy. So we're gonna just set that aside. It's gonna dry really quick because it's the blends, and that's the alcohol ink, so it's gonna dry really, really quick. And in the meantime, we're gonna get to assembling. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to use my snail adhesive, and I'm going to stick this down to our scalloped circle here. And this one is really just a hair bigger than that other circle. I didn't want a large scallop showing, just a little bit. So that's only going to show just a little bit, but I love that. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Oh, you know what we forgot to do, you guys, is the little gold border. Ah, I can't believe we forgot that. Let's do that because I love, love, love that. Okay, we're gonna open up our embossing again, our powder and our inverse mark. And what I did for that gold border is I just took my pad and just went direct to the paper. And I don't want to do that border anywhere where there's a flower. So I'm just gonna do it. So I'm really just gonna grab that pad and just swipe it along the side there. And I'm gonna start where that flower ends, right here. And then I'm just gonna tilt it a little bit onto the paper and just drag that pad just like that. And then we're gonna come over here and just sprinkle it on. And I probably should have used my embossing buddy again, but because we have that sprinkling of blends, but that's okay. So I love that look. It's like real sketchy looking on the side there. And this one, I'm just gonna use the corner of my pad and just kind of dab it on there. I still want it on there, but I don't want to overlap where any of those flowers are. So pretty. So I just have that on there, and then we just have one more side to do. And again, I'm going to start at the bottom of that flower, and I'm just going to pull that Versamark pad. And this one I'm going to go up. I'm going to start at the bottom or the top of that flower and just drag it up, just like that. And so all we need to do is sprinkle on our powder and then reheat. And our heat tool should still be warm enough because it hasn't been sitting idle that long. I have a lot of embossing powder right there. It hasn't been sitting idle that long, so it should be still nice and warm, and we should be able to get through this pretty quickly. So I'm just making sure I get all of those border edges, and some of them are a bigger border than others, which I love. I love that look. It's so like sketchy and just so pretty. So I'm gonna bring it in, and just heat that border. There it goes, all the way down. I just love this look, and it's such a fun, easy way to get that gold look on the edges without cutting into a lot of your foil cardstock, your foil papers. This is just a great way to do it. Just right along those edges. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, now we are done. And I didn't even close my embossing powder. That could have been a disaster. I'm gonna put this away before it is a disaster. Okay. I'm close my Versamark pad, and now we're ready to assemble, and I just love all that gold accent on there. So pretty. Okay, I have a little bit of embossing powder on my desk, but not a lot. Okay, we are going to assemble now. I'm gonna stick this one onto our other crumb cake piece. This one was 4 by 5 1/4, and we're just gonna use this, some snail for that. And because it's not too badly warped, but it is a little curved, I'm just gonna use a lot of adhesive, just make sure it sticks nice and well. And against this other crumb cake piece is where you're gonna see that gold border really pop. It's so stunning. Isn't that beautiful? Love it. Okay, we're gonna add some linen thread now. Now our linen thread comes on these little like cardboard spools, and sometimes you can get like little kinks in them, and that doesn't look very pretty as a tied bow. So what I like to do is just take my bone folder and just hold it just like you were curling ribbon. Just hold that and just drag your linen thread along your bone folder, and that will unkink all of those little kinks. So now it's just real nice and I don't know what you call it, just it's beautiful now. Okay, I'm going to tie this. I'm going to tie it in a bow. So I have a little end here ready to go into a bow, and I'm going to wrap this twice. Okay, and I'm going to snip this off. Just snip it off. Now when I'm tying either linen thread or baker's twine, I always like to tie it in a knot first. It's small enough that the knot is not going to bulk up your card, but it's going to give you so much more control, and you're going to be so much more successful when tying a bow. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, before we get to our bow, I just want to make sure that these are kind of separated. I want to make sure that they're in the right placement that I want before we get to our bow, because once we really start tying our bow, we're not going to be able to move it around too much. We'll be able to manipulate it a little bit, but not a lot. Okay, so I'm going to tie my bow now. And beautiful. And sometimes your bows just don't want to cooperate, that's fine. Just stick them down with a glue dot. You're in charge of the bows. Don't let them frustrate you. Just use a glue dot. Show them who's boss. All right, we're going to take our greeting now. And I'm going to use some dimensionals, of course. I'm going to do a couple on the top and a couple on the bottom. I grabbed a whole bunch of them. I'm going to grab too many. We'll see. We'll put one back. We'll save that one for our next layer. Okay, we're going to peel off our backings here. And we're going to put that right over the twine here. And hopefully I didn't stick that down. I do want to try to move it. Did I stick it down? I didn't. Let me see if I can move it. I really want that bow to be close to that greeting, so I'm trying to, you know what, let me pull this off. This is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna pull this off real quick. I'm gonna pull that bow. I'm just bending my cardstock a little bit so I can move that bow. There we go. I think that's gonna be perfect. Maybe over a little bit too much. See, this is what happens when I start getting all finicky about it. Okay, that's gonna be perfect, just right there. We're gonna stick that back down. Good press. So pretty, right? And that bow, oh, I love it. Okay, we're gonna stick this to our card base. I'm gonna pull back in our soft suede card base, and we're gonna cover the back with dimensionals because I love me some dimensionals. Really wanna make sure that you add dimension to your card because it makes such a difference. Okay, these are really low. I'm gonna move these up a little bit. Okay. And we're just gonna peel these off. I've gotten very quick at peeling them off. And I sent a little question in my team Facebook group and asked, where's the weirdest place you found dimensional backings? And I find them in weird places all the time. And it's everybody's houses. They're everywhere, for sure. But I thought it was fun to hear all the weird places that they just turn up. Finally, to finish this card, we're going to add some gold metallic pearls. I'm just going to add a few of these. And this is just going to help enhance that metallic feel to this card. So pretty. And I just use my Take Your Pick tool to put those on. And there is our beautiful gold accented, gold stamped, whatever you want to call it, our gold monochromatic card. So beautiful. So I thank you very much for joining me. I will be back next week at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, as usual. If you want to place an order, please head to my online store and put in that order. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.